Hi, everybody. How are we? Doug, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good.
Was that as good as you guys have played start to finish in a game in a long time, do you think?
Probably, yeah. And I think,
Flying around.
yeah, flying and executing the coverages, ball was popping, and then every single guy that went in there was on, ready to go.
The defensive stuff that when you guys are flying around, contested shots in the corners and doubling guys, is that hard to teach? Why is this team so good at it?
Well, there's a I always say the defense starts with a lot of desire to do it. So there's a big want to out of this group to play it, right? And I think then it becomes, how connected can the guys all be? It's hard to play if all five guys aren't doing it because there's a lot of coverages and things. It takes a lot of connectivity between five guys and just play hard, and they get some confidence. It builds momentum. You start jarring a few loose, and the energy keeps rolling, and you start making some good plays and tough shots, and confidence builds.
I think Kyle had 5 steals today, and I think 6 straight double-doubles now. But, is he as big a factor in that defensive effort and focus as anyone else?
Yeah, for sure. I think, again, I say this a lot, his compete level, I've never coached or seen anybody play as hard as this guy does in basketball. It's the ultimate compliment, and it rubs off on the other guys. And not only does he do it that way, he plays it smart. He knows the coverages. He knows the opponents. He studies film. He gives his body up, right? All those things kind of transfer to the other guys, I believe. Leadership, right?
Pascal had a few dishes to Serge out of the post or
They're good, right?
facing up.
Good.
You've been talking about getting
Yeah.
him the ball.
Yeah.
How much has he improved on that front?
Yeah, I thought tonight he really was ready for him to swarm him and come at him, and his timing was awesome, right? Sometimes you get caught in between your move and you're not quite to your move, and then there's too many bodies there. But he was just, he was working to score, and when the next person came, the timing of what he was doing was, pretty good, impeccable, really.
How much of that is not only him looking for it, but other guys like Serge knew when to cut too, and you don't want to risk cramping the space in that situation. So is part of it just getting the other guys used to?
Well, that's like a huge part of it, Eric. Like the original spacing or finding the right spacing in general, right, to give them enough room to go to work, and then reading where their help's coming from and making the right reaction to that, and then the timing of it. It's tricky. It's not easy, right? It's not easy to do, but that's why we want to get more reps of it.
How would you do the same sort of thing?
Yep.
If you had 3 or 4 baseline cuts,
Yep.
that's the kind of offense you need for him, that sort of opportunistic plays.
Yeah.
You see more of it?
Yeah, I think OG's a decent shooter, right? He's a good shooter, 3-point shooter, but you're looking around. Are you going to let Kyle and Fred shoot? Probably not. You're going to stay closer to them. The way Serge is, and OG's a guy they're going to probably, if they say we can't handle Pascal one-on-one, they're probably going to creep in or up off him a little bit. And again, that's the same thing. The read that you make to just right as the guy moves up or moves over, boom, you're right behind him. And OG does it with explosiveness, great hands, and then up for great finishes. Yeah, it's good.
When you see your team kind of jump out like a 13-1 run immediately, did you get the sense oh, this is going to be a hell of a night here?
Well, I don't try not to. A lot of times that's fool's gold, or games turn pretty quick. A lot of times you start 14-2 and you end up 24-22 at the quarter or something like that. So you don't get too carried away. You just kind of. It was, that was one of those that it just kind of kept extending, and there wasn't too many moments. There was one little lapse to start the second where we turned it over. There's one little lapse to start the third where we didn't stop them for about 3 or 4 possessions, but we answered a couple. And after that, there wasn't any. They were playing each possession about as just, there was there's some mistakes, but there's going to be. But most of the time it was hard playing mistakes.
You talk about more reps for Pascal, and it's there watching it, but he doesn't lead the team in shot attempts, or he doesn't have more than his usual number of assists. Where does that show up?
Just in usage, that number of times he has the ball. I think that the way, especially the way he's played tonight, he got off it early because they were coming early. And it wasn't necessarily to a dunk every time or an open three. It was out to the Serge cutting and Serge out to the next pass, or out to Kyle and Kyle swinging it to the next pass. So he gets nothing but a job well done, making the right play. It doesn't show up anywhere, but you could see him just moving it at the right times, and that's important because usually if there's a help coming, the first next reaction is to take away the most obvious pass, right, which is from the guy that helped, help the helper. So sometimes you do have to make the next play out of it, right? Your team does.
Would there be any carryover to Tuesday night after this? The big game Tuesday against a key team?
100%, Doug. Lots of it. 110% carryover. No, I don't know. I don't know.
You know your guys.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think you ever, I always say each day, each game's different. Each one takes on its own life. We ought to, hopefully we'll come in with a physicality and defensive mindset. Because if you don't, you've seen those guys play. Every game I watch them play is 32-12 at the end of one. Every single one. 32-22 at like the closest. So if you don't come out ready to go, you're going to be battling uphill, and you don't really want to battle uphill against them. Yes, ma'am.
Paul had a couple nice late reads. Are you happy with how he stayed ready?
Pardon me?
Paul had a couple nice late reads.
Yeah, I mean, I thought everybody was ready, right? And it was good to get everybody out there. It was good not to have to overuse some of those guys. Got Freddie out of there and Pascal out of there and Kyle out of there pretty early too, really. So it was nice to play him. And I think, there's a reason why most of those guys are here. Matt Thomas is a shooter, right? O'Shea is a good all-around player. They go out there. Stanley looked good tonight. He was running the team, playing deep, passing the ball, making quick decisions. And Rondé was awesome.
Just one more on the Bucks. You haven't seen them up close since the second week or whatever it is. What have you liked about what they're doing other than racking up wins? And what does it mean for this crew to get a test like that?
Well, I think it's pretty good that we get to see them 3 times here late, Eric. I'm just, I don't know. I watch them play, and they win every game by 20 points. I don't know what to make of it other than they're just nobody can even come close to them, right? I mean, most nights it's like I don't know what their margin of win is. You know me, I'm not really reading much of those stats and don't really care that much. But when I do watch them, it's boring. It's boring. I mean, they're really, really good. And the game, like I said, the games are over by halftime all the time. So then nobody ever really makes a threat. So they're really good. They really got it going. They've got more depth than a year ago, more experience than a year ago, more size than a year ago. They've really got it going. So it'll be a challenge, but we'll be okay either way it goes. Next game, we'll be fine. Keep on keeping on until we get to where we need to go.
Thanks,
Thanks,
everybody.
Doug.
See ya.